Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this name, Simonson, and they want to cut out a wood and then put it on another piece of wood, but they're having trouble getting it to weld. So if we left click, right click in red, and you can see it's still a font. The weld tool doesn't show up, so you can always go to object and try this, go to shaping and weld, and it worked. Now, the only thing that I would do differently, unless you're going to hand glue this on, you could go to object, break the curve apart, and then you could take this and just bring it down just a little bit, just so they intersect. And then instead of welding it, I would just take my virtual segment delete key and delete that right there. And as always, then take your smart fill tool and fill it in. And what that smart fill does, it makes a new object. So if we look at this now, and if we left click, right click, and just make sure it's a hairline to cut it out. If we look at the two together, you can see that those parts aren't in there, where this is welded it all together with the smart fill tool, basically. So that's the way I would do it. A lot of times, let me just kind of back up here. If you go here, there's no weld. Well, you can go to object and convert it to a curve, and then you got a hairline, and then you've got to go to object and convert it to a curve again. Still didn't show up with the weld. Let's ungroup it. Now the weld tool shows up, but it doesn't work. Now, if all else fails, it's really easy to take the virtual segment delete key and just delete these lines. I do this a lot. If I just have one or two, or like you're adding that, when you're adding that dot of the eye, and you don't need to weld the whole thing, I just go through here and cut a few of these out, and we're almost done. Just make sure you got them all. And then you can take this, go up to object, break curve apart. And what that did, it made it where you could move this and do the same thing. And then you could weld that, but it still doesn't work a lot of times. So just take your virtual segment delete key and swipe through here. And then once again, and I'd make that a little bit different looking shape-wise, and then take your smart fill tool and fill that in. And then when you have that, all these pieces will be together. Left click, right click, and make sure it's a hairline. Evidently, he draws in a half a point line, but that'll cut out. There are a few other ways you can do stuff like that. Let's just back up and do it. Well, that's a pretty long exercise. You could use the smart fill tool with a rectangle and fill in all the parts in the outside and get the same thing if you have trouble welding it. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit, and thank you for watching.